As a president of MEHAR, which is a nonprofit organization, it's my pleasure to welcome you all at this curtain raiser event. And we are releasing our first documentary film today, I'm Still Me. It is an artistic attempt to learn about mental health. And today, of course, it's a very, very special day, as we all have worked very hard in accomplishing our digital project in just 2 months. And as per the contract of the city of Brampton, we were supposed to get all the activities done before 31st of December and submit the report. So we are pretty much done. This is the last event, which was a part of the contract. And this was definitely not possible without all of you. So I'd really sincerely like thank all of you, and I wanted you to be part of this celebration today. And we have invited special guests to begin this session today. And I have to mention the name of this special guest, who is also the hero of this documentary, Karthik Pandalangat. He is a law student and also the writer of the monologue that is the highlight of our first documentary film, I'm Still Me. I'm not sure how many of you already watched it, because I forwarded the YouTube link to some of you guys. And I think some of you already watched it. It has come up very well. It's really reflecting the hard work that was put in last 2 months. So I'm very happy and I feel very blessed that like everything fell in place and we are able to submit this beautiful project to Advance Brampton Fund, City of Brampton. So I welcome our special guest, one of the special guests, Karthik Pandalangat, and he's a law student, and he has written this monologue with which our documentary actually begins. And you all will realize that there is nothing more powerful than one's original self reflection to begin any session or event. So let's all mute our microphones, and let's hear this beautiful script and the monologue done by Karthik. So over to Karthik. Karthik, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, so my name is Karthik, and I wrote this poem about my experiences with depression and anxiety, specifically during the period of the COVID pandemic. So thanks everyone for listening. I'll start now. Okay. I stand on the precipice of madness and self loathing during these isolated times, specifically during the early hours. The worst kind of thoughts plague my mind, thoughts I abhor, thoughts which I have no affinity towards, yet still they percolate to the surface to torment me. Guilt seems to be entrenched into my gut during the day, eventually festering and poisoning my mind. Sleep seems to be a refuge, yet it does not stop the vicious cycle from perpetuating when I awake. Compounded with the guilt, sleep prevents me from doing everything I wanted to do during this time. When your own mind seems to seek your stagnation and torture, redemption seems impossible, as growth is almost never even presented as an option in the overwhelmingly negative tundra of the psyche. I thought this would be a time to actualize, to grow, before I formally enter into an independent stage of adulthood. I know it still can be. At night, I feel a sense of tranquility and empowerment. When I walk my dog, when I am active, when I hang out with my friends, and watch movies with my family, all my worries, regrets, and obsessions seem to dissipate for a time. The mind becomes more charitable towards itself, and the mental shackles seem to become a little looser. The next day seems more promising. But the next day comes, and the tundra again presents itself to me, vast and seemingly unconquerable, and I'm standing in the center of it, alone. Recently, however, the tundra seems to be getting smaller and a bit warmer. I can navigate through it a little easier without looking back as much. I see a semblance of flowers at its edge. While new areas occasionally manifest, they seem much more surmountable, and I can get past them with far less effort. Maybe I just need to focus on the flowers, not the tundra. You can only get to the destination when it's in front of you, in the mind's eye, not when looking at the road. Maybe the tundra is thinking and the flowers are being. If I keep thinking, I may be trapped here forever. But if I be and do everything I want to and know I can escape and be amongst the flowers.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was like so profound. I actually, first time when I heard this, I kind of, it really touched me. So that's so profound and so well articulated. And I must share that when first time when I heard this monologue, it really inspired me to think about a new story for Mehar. I'm still me. And guess what? Like, I mean, within a few weeks only, we came to know about this Advance Brampton Fund project, and we were asked to do the skit and the film, and it perfectly out. And this actually monologue is the highlight of this documentary film, because this monologue or this poem that Karthik has written really actually influenced me or inspired me to do something, and so that the stories can be heard by many people, and many people get inspired, and many people get really energized, and that's the reason that we decided to include this script into our film, and also it became the highlight of our documentary film. So thank you so much, Karthik, for being with Mehar, supporting Mehar. You were always available there, and I really appreciate that. So now we move to the next part of this segment, and which is the welcoming our other special guests. And it's my pleasure to invite Soumya Mishra, who is going to be our MC for rest of the evening or rest of the session. She, and who doesn't know Soumya, because she's really, really popular. She is a kind of a queen of social media, I would say. She runs her own radio channel called Radio Dishoom, or Dishoom Radio. And she's known for various interesting shows on her official social media page of the radio. And yeah, I have heard her many times, and I have seen her shows on the digital platform. And I'm really excited that she is going to take care of emceeing rest of the evening. So on behalf of Mehar, I want to welcome our special guests before Soumya comes and introduces them. My special guests are Dr. Jagmohan Sangha, Harpal Singh, and Harris. Three of them. So let's know more about three of them from Soumya. Over to Soumya.
Thank you so much, Rekha, for introducing me so beautifully and so glamorously. I'm very thankful, and I'm actually very happy to be a part of such a unique cause. Not a lot is spoken on this matter, and I'm so thankful that you're doing it on everybody's behalf. I hope that this grows a lot more and people learn as much efforts as you guys are putting in. With that note, let me invite the first person with us on virtual stage. The first guest that I'll be talking to directly would be Dr. Jagmohan Sangha. He's a passionate actor, director, poet, and a film producer. Too many words to say in one go. And he runs Sangha Motion Films and has produced and directed his own film, Never Again. His film was screened at various film festivals and was well appreciated. And he is the force behind this documentary. So now, hello, Dr. Jagmohan Sangha, sir. How are you?
Hello, good evening to you, Soumya, and everybody else. Good evening.
I've introduced so much, so obviously I have a lot more questions for you because you're going
Thank
to.
you so much for your kind introduction, Soumya. I appreciate that.
So the first question that I obviously have is, you are the director of this documentary on such a different topic. How did you get associated with this kind of project?
Well, I think it all started with Mrs. Rekha Vaishnav. I knew Rekha for some time. We have been doing certain programs together. We were together, I believe, on a mental health debate. And then our friend Deepa Mohanty's film inaugural program and so on. And subsequently, Rekha was in touch for the English poems book that she wrote. And we all contributed, and I wrote poems on mental health for that book as well. So Rekha was in touch, and when she contacted me about this project, she had a very sketchy thing in her mind, but at the same time, what was really great about her was that she was very passionate about what she was talking about. And that passion of Rekha, I think that was something which really inspired me and made me say yes to her, despite the fact that when we started this, there was very little that we both knew about it. She knew about mental health. I knew little about it. I knew about filmmaking. She knew very little about it. And I thought that was the best combination to learn each other's areas and go ahead with this. And mental health was something which was very close to my heart as well, because I have been a quizzer. I have been doing an English quiz program on a television in Canada for a long time, and I used to be asking questions about mental health and so on. So I think it was just Rekha as a central figure where we clicked and we thought of making this project. And I'm glad that it's right in front of you right now.
I'm so happy to hear that. I actually share whatever you just said. Same equation with Rekha. So she's the person who drove me in here too. Second question, you've done quite a few projects before. What was the difference between the older projects and this one? Like, what set it apart for you?
Right. So each project that you do definitely has a different, they have different sensitivities, they have different contents, the narration could be different and so on. The film that we released last year, which was Never Again, an English film that we made, that was on a social issue. It was about a single mother and a young man who is into drugs and so on. So that is something which I could relate this. But at the same time, that was a film and this was a documentary. When you make a documentary, you have to interview people, you have to look through the contents in a different manner, because some of them, they are real time, some of them are enactments and so on. So I think it's the contents, the narration, and the sensitivities are very different in a documentary as compared to a film. Film is very fictitiously made, a narration of the ideas, whereas documentary is more real contents. So that is where I find the big difference. So documentary making is a very different genre altogether as compared to filmmaking.
So, what was one of the biggest issues or problems that you faced while making this documentary?
Well, I think there were multiple challenges. Of course, I mean, they were not too big challenges, but at the same time, there are small little things in filmmaking. For example, we were shooting, Rekha had organized a theater in downtown Toronto, and we were shooting there, and we were trying to shoot the skits, and we were taking the other takes. And it was a very, very chilly day.
Yeah.
And the theater had its own heating system, but the heating system was very noisy. Now, if we were switching that off, we were freezing. If we were leaving it on, there was too much of humming sound that was there when we were shooting. So, I mean, that is one of the challenges. I'm just quoting you an example when you said what were the challenges. Now, we were also wanting to shoot a few outdoor scenes for Rekha, and I wanted the nature and mental health to be put together. I had some other idea in my mind, but we could not shoot that because either it was snowing or it was raining and so on. Now, that was during the shoot time.
Yeah.
Of course, the artists were very, very accommodative. They did a wonderful job. But post-production, again, there were challenges. There were some old clips which Rekha had given from I Am Still Me and some other clips from the conception of her project. Now, those clips were to be inserted in our documentary. Some of them were not of the same quality as we would shoot, because what we have is very professional cameras. So those things had to be merged. The sound had to be perfect because the various artists speak in a different texture. So all that sound quality, the coloring, and all those post-production jobs, of course, when you see the final product, it won't be very visibly known to you what all has gone into it. But then this is what filmmaking is all about.
So last question, but a very important question. How was your experience working with Meher? And if given a chance, would you want to come aboard again?
A great question. Your the second part of the question first.
Okay.
Definitely yes, because Mehar and Rekha and all the people behind Mehar are very passionate about what they are doing. And they are doing a fantastic job. I would say that each person that we met or we included in our documentary, they were so passionate, they were so intense about what they were doing. And such films, I feel they don't not only provide a quick remedy. I mean, they don't provide perhaps a quick remedy, but even doctors don't. Nobody provides a quick remedy. But then, if such efforts succeed in stimulating the wits and spread some kind of awareness, that would be the task well accomplished. So I think what Mehar is doing and future projects, I definitely feel this topic has become very close to my heart as well, because mental health is so very vital, I feel. In our daily lives and routines, we tend to just ignore this aspect. Whereas I feel that eventually it impacts the very, very the basics of how we feel, how we think, how we act in daily lives. Everything is connected to the mental health. So I think there's a need for a paradigm shift. Lot many people perhaps do not talk about it, and a lot of them suffer. Maybe some of the people on the screen, some of them may be suffering at so much, but nobody talks to each other. So I believe personally, after making this project, that there has to be a paradigm shift, and the people should be talking to each other, and certainly, if not to others, then to family and friends. So I would definitely love to do such projects in future as well, and definitely with Rekha and the entire team of Mehar, for
Thank
sure.
you so much for your kind words. It was wonderful speaking with you.
You're
Next,
most welcome. Thank you so much.
thank you. Next, let's invite the person through whose eyes you've seen the whole film. Without this person's control of eyes and vision, this would have not been possible. So next, we would like to invite Harpal Singh, cinematographer who is specialized in editing, color videography, sound balancing, and an assistant director. Harpal took this documentary to the new heights with his personal commitment and passion. So welcome, Harpal ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you have a beautiful smile. अच्छा, मैं तब से आपको नोटिस कर ही रही थी, बस मैंने नाम नीचे नहीं पढ़ा था आपका. You have a wonderful, beautiful smile. And आपकी इस beautiful smile को देखते हुए मैं आपसे पहला सवाल पूछती हूँ. Actually, दो सवाल एक साथ ही पूछती हूँ because I feel they're very connected. What was your role in this documentary on mental health, and how did you get associated with this project?
Okay, so getting associated with project, it was simple because I have worked with Sangha sir in the past, and luckily he liked my work, the way I do my work. So he called me for this project and asked me if there is a possibility to, we can do this project. And the first thought in my mind was, because I had done a lot of documentaries and corporate, but like for last 2 3 years I was mainly doing music videos.
Yeah.
So but I was confident that with guidance of Sangha sir I will be able to do this, because this is a technical topic, and documentaries are more about the precise information rather than only the filmmaking. So filmmaking is another part of documentary.
Yeah.
So that's the way I got associated with it. And then my role was creative head, to provide the input from the cinematic perspective, how we can make it more impactful, and how, for example, there is a monologue, how we can make it more impactful, what we can add. Then doing editing for this, and color grading. And I'll just correct one thing: for the sound, I have my sound team which is in India, Mumbai. So they did the sound work. So in a way I was doing the production work as well, along with the guidance of Sangha sir. So that was my role in this documentary.
So how was your experience working on the journey of this job? Because making a documentary in itself is a journey, right? So what was your experience working on that journey?
So experience, it was fun, really fun. And first time doing a project, I did not have experience from filmmaking perspective, because this was a topic I would never even think about it, that there is something called mental health. I will never think about it. And then I have to understand what is mental health, and I have to understand, when I'm editing, what can I put on what place and what information I have to put. So from that perspective, this was really a great experience. And I know now that, okay, there is something called mental health. So people should be aware. So if I notice around my family, within myself, or my friend circle, so now I can understand, okay, there is something wrong, and we definitely need this kind of therapy, or maybe some discussion. So from that perspective, it was really great from learning perspective. And from filmmaking perspective, definitely I think it was challenging, because the technical things in this was really complicated, and this script was really good. And to justify that good script, it was really challenging. But thanks to Sangha sir for his guidance throughout the project, and Rekha ma'am for trusting me and guiding me and making me understand what all things and what are the technical details of the script. So overall, it's a good experience learning from filmmaking perspective and the mental health perspective. So two things I gained from this project, which was really fun.
So would you like to introduce somebody else from the team?
Yeah, I would like to introduce Harris. So
Hello.
you can continue now. So Harris will introduce what was his role, and my thanks to Harris for coming to the project and joining us and helping us to make it the way it has come out. And over to you, Harris.
Yeah, hey. Yeah, so my role in the project, I was brought on to assist with a lot of the technical aspects of filmmaking. I spent a lot of time studying acting and filmmaking through high school and university, and that's what I also do as a profession. So my role was really, we were shooting the documentary with 2 cameras. So while Harpal was operating one, I was operating the other, and I was also helping to set up the lights and the sound equipment for a lot of the interviews.
Thank you so much for all your efforts. Thank you to all 3 of you to making this happen and putting in all the extra efforts. I know a little bit, so I know how much hard work goes into making this happen from beginning to the end. So from my side, and everybody's on the screen right now.
Thank you so much, Soumya, and thank you everybody else. It was, like I said, it was so very wonderful, and we look forward to a release from Rekha so that everybody can watch it.
Thank you so much. Next, let's move on to the people who guide us into knowing exactly what must be spoken, how it must be spoken, and how it must be addressed. So we'll introduce the professionals in the mental health field who've always supported MEHAR by offering guidance and support. First, I would like to introduce Priya Rana, consultant, who's played a significant role in the process of accomplishing strategic plans for MEHAR. Her input in today's forum will be of great value. So, do I see her on the screen? Oh, hi, Priya. I think your screen shifted.
Hi, Soumya. Thanks for that introduction. And it's actually quite interesting to hear Dr. Sangha, Harpal Singh, and Harris speak about their experience with MEHAR. And what I have to say that I worked with MEHAR and its board. There are people on the call here. I see Ajay ji, I see Jatin Bhai, and I know Lena is just gone off screen. And I think there might even be there's other artistic team members that I see that I know. Lovely to see you all. So I worked with the board on the strategic plan over the month of October and November. And the one thing that struck me about this work is that they are, as I think Dr. Sangha said, passionate people. An extremely passionate and committed group of people who are, of course, spearheaded by Rekha. I think that Rekha has done some incredible work over the month of December. I think we all need to give to Rekha and the board, for all of their hard work. There are people who are not on the call that are on the board as well. What struck me is just the amount that they have achieved over the past 2 years, specifically over almost in this month of December. If you, like me, have been part of MEHAR, you've been getting invites for lots of events. It's been fantastic to see what great work has been accomplished. So that's been really, really amazing to see. In terms of like looking ahead for the board, for everybody that's on the call here today, and looking ahead to where MEHAR's journey is going, given their strategic plan, they have really identified that I think a couple of you said that you weren't, Harpalji, you said that you weren't really aware of mental health issues, and this is something that was a learning opportunity. This is the one organization that the board identified that actually does, uses various art forms to promote mental health and wellness. It's a very uniquely placed organization. And everybody that's on the call here today, you're either involved as an advisor, as a board member, as people who have helped out and supported various productions, or you are part of what I call an artistic team. Like I see Alkaji, I see Mamta, Naimesh Bhai was on the call earlier, many other people that I may miss, but there's an incredibly hardworking team that's doing a lot of great work. Most of your work so far has been in the area of what I would call spoken word. So it's been music, it's been poetry, it's been drama, and it goes to show that especially during this time of the pandemic where we are really having to use these virtual ways of communicating, how important the spoken word is. And as MEHAR grows and flourishes, which it's doing so well, there's opportunity to expand to other forms of art, such as dance, or painting or art forms, and to really go beyond that spoken word. So everybody that's on the call that has all of that in their repertoire of skills, I hope to see that continued involvement and engagement under the spearheaded leadership of Rekha and all of the people on the board. The other thing that I just want to say is that in working in the area of mental health, and there are people on this call here who are way more experienced than I am. The thing that we are all looking at right now, there is a real challenge in terms of mental health challenges faced by young people. And, we heard today the monologue from Karthik. Kudos to him for coming forward and sharing his journey. It's not an easy thing to do. So I'm a parent of a child who has a diagnosis of clinical depression. And I think it's really very, very important for us to be open about this. And I think that this organization is doing great work in this area. So I look forward to continuing to, watch and congratulate you all from the sidelines and seeing all the work that you do. And thanks for the opportunity, Soumya and Rekha and everybody on the call to be able to speak.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Priya. Wonderful words. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Nalini Pandalangat, who has done PhD in mental health and works as a director at Sherburne Health. Dr. Nalini has supported Meher as a mentor and has been a panelist and shared her knowledge and expertise to Meher's audience. So, Dr. Nalini, my question to you today is, what do you see as the future for Meher's work?
Thank you. It's really nice to be here with all of you. And, I'm very honored and touched when you say I'm a mentor. I think I've been more inspired by Mehar and Rekha and the work that they're doing. So just in terms of, it's been really very inspiring in terms of Mehar's journey and the persistence in terms of keeping up with this journey through the pandemic, right? And touching the lives of so many people. So I really thank Mehar, Rekha, and the team. And, Jagmohan Sangha had actually talked about the various challenges during, shooting of those episodes. And I was there for a very brief period. And I was really, blown away by how much of commitment the artists and the director and the cameraman and everybody had. So thank you for this wonderful documentary that has come up as a result of all of that. I just want to say that art has this incredible power, right? To bind, inform, and engage. And not only the audience, but also the artists, right? It brings everybody together in very, very unique ways. And for those of us who've grown up in South Asia, we all know the power of street theater in terms of, bringing very radical social messages, right? That could have been overlooked. So that's, and Mehar has very, very successfully harnessed this power of theater, of art, right? To address a very, very sensitive issue around mental health and to bust the stigma around mental health. And just, the way people have come out with their poetry, talked about their experiences. As parents, we have shared our experiences, right? Is showing that Mehar is succeeding in that path, right? So my hopes for Mehar in 2021, like Priya so nicely said, is really that Mehar's reach to the youth should become so much more profound, right? Because young people, especially early, as a parent, as a mental health professional, I'm just very, very aware of the fact that early intervention in mental health and providing support at the right time is so important, right? Because many mental health issues come up during adolescence and early adulthood. So for 2021, I would like to see Mehar's presence in universities, in colleges, reaching out to diverse student populations, their families, student associations, and other networks. I have a lot, and I want to see youngsters being more part of these theatrical productions and performances and becoming mental health ambassadors in themselves. And it is definitely within the power of Mehar to make this happen. I have a lot more in terms of dreams for Mehar, which I will share at a later point. But at this point, I just want to say this and also reiterate my support for Mehar, Rekha, and the team. Kudos to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. What a lovely speech or words, and with such nice energy. I hope this energy goes on to other people who are listening this and watching this later. So much positivity. Next, I would like to introduce Dr. Sonali Sagare. She's practicing psychotherapy. She's a practicing psychotherapist and has also been supervising youth and addiction programs at Associated Youth Services in Peel. Recently, Sonali supported Meher by being a panelist to talk about youth and mental health during the virtual session, I Am Still Me. Thank you so much for joining. And I did see that you joined quite early. So I was very happy to see that. Since the beginning, I've known Sonali is right there. I don't have to search for you in the main screen. So welcome, Sonali ji. What are your books today?
So thank you so much, Soumya. First of all, you are doing an amazing job. I'm really looking forward to hear a lot from everyone here. I would like to say that Rekha and Lena, these are the two people I've really know for longest period of the time since you started Meher. And unfortunately, actually, I was not in touch with Meher and all the things that were happening here in between. And recently, literally last event, I was part of this conversation regarding youth and mental health. So Priya and I think Nandini, they were totally prepared to say what things they are visioning and all that. But for me, I just feel like I'm like a drop in this whole bucket. And because it's really important to engage the youth and the mental health awareness within the population, if we can have number of the events that involve the youth and also make this awareness, because I think even though we all talk about mental health, importance of the mental health, people are still worried to talk about this because of stigma. And I think this stigma is a major piece, even though we have all these artists who are really doing their best. Artists are really doing such amazing job, because again, as we all agree, that when we see, then it impacts us. When we hear, not necessarily it does. So I think this combination of seeing and creating these monologues or creating these stories and videos are definitely helping. But I think at some point, even Nalini said that we have to involve the youth in this whole curriculum, or creating these stories, experiences, maybe having some peer or focus groups where we can ask them what will be the beneficial things for you to do, so that we can involve their experience and their expectations in this process. I think that's what I would hope for. And as I said earlier, I mean, I apologize for not being like the part of this as much as I would have loved to. But moving forward, I think I will definitely put more efforts to stay connected and really try to see if I can be supportive in any other means. That's all for now.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much for your kind words. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Archana Bapat, a practicing psychiatrist in Toronto, big supporter of Meher, contributor of a beautiful poem in the Meher's book called Man. It will be an honor to have Dr. Archana grace this special forum by sharing her views on 2021 for Meher. So just before we close, we would like to hear about what's for Meher in store for Meher for 2021. Over to you, Archana ji.
Hi, Dr. Archana ji. Are you there?
I don't see her.
I also tried to find her, but I thought maybe maybe she did not use the proper name.
Because I saw Archana's iPhone before, but it's not there anymore.
There is an iPhone on the screen, but I don't know if it's hers.
Oh, okay. Maybe because I just actually texted the invitation to her, and
So maybe you can read the feedback sent to you by Dr. Sushma, and in the meantime, maybe she can connect.
yeah, that will be good. If Dr. Archana joins later, I would definitely like to hear her, because she has some beautiful ideas for Mehar for 2021, and she has written wonderful, powerful stories, and definitely I think she wants to share something about that. So I'm excited about like talking to her about those ideas. But also, there was another consultant or the mentor that I wanted to invite, and I wanted her to be here. Unfortunately, she could not join us virtually. But she sent her message, and again, the message is really, really useful and of great value for us in terms of our direction for 2021 and the following years. So Dr. Sushma Pendarkar, she is also a psychiatrist, and she has always supported MEHAR from day one, I would say. She has also helped us as an expert in our events after each skits and the shows of I'm Still Me. Uh, she has couple of times she has come as a panel member, and she has answered the questions that audience had after watching our shows and the skits. So she is recommending incorporating the information on mental health resources such as crisis services, counseling support, and many such in each event of MEHAR. An audience should know how to access these resources, and she's also suggesting that we must include the information on the role of medication with the specific attempt to decrease the fear of medication when it is a significant part of treating some of the symptoms that can be really risky, and that needs to be treated immediately. So those are some of the things that are like so important for me, because when I write the stories and the scripts, my mind is very focused on presenting the symptoms and presenting the pain and the suffering. But I think it's very important to incorporate the information about how do you access the resources in Brampton, how do you access the resources in Toronto or Peel. I'm so happy that Sonali is there now. Sonali is a kind of, a treasure for Mehar, because she has worked with youth, the addictions and mental health. So obviously, I think under her guidance, we can definitely modify our scripts and our stories so that it addresses the other needs of the community also. Uh, that's from Dr. Sushma, and I'm really, really thankful to her for spending time thinking about Mehar and forwarding these suggestions. Over to you, Soumya.
Thank you so much, Rekha ji. It's wonderful hearing that message. Now it's time to call board members with us to share something. And the reason why I'm smiling is because after a lot of knowledgeable people speaking, now it's the turn for that one thing that connects to any heart, irrespective of what language it is in, and that is music. So next, I'm going to introduce Darshak Vaishnav, MEHAR board member, also a talented singer, and he helps MEHAR by leading their only fundraising concert, Melodies Over Mind. What a beautiful concept. So welcome and hello to you.
Hello.
My question to you is, what were the challenges that you faced in 2020? And I guess there must be a long list of it because everybody is facing challenges. But what were the specific challenges that MEHAR as an organization faced in 2020?
I think I'll begin with Mirza Ghalib share that हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले बहुत निकले मेरे अरमान लेकिन फिर भी कम निकले तो the biggest challenge I think is that building an organization from scratch which Rekha I think is when she started writing the stories and involving the artist and all that was I would say was not that difficult. But then when you start an organization and when you have so many areas to cover to build an organization as a that's I think one biggest challenge I would say MEHAR and Rekha face that because you need people who specialize in the website and social media and accounting and coordinating, reaching out to people, so many things. And I think there was when you start a new venture, you don't have all this vision, and slowly you start learning that how much is there to learn, and all those desires, she wants to accomplish ASAP, I would say, because when she gives her puts her mind to it, she wants to make sure that. So I have seen her, countless middle of the night learning about some graphic design. And I said, what are you doing? So start, and then some social media, and then some, so I think that's one big challenge. Funding, which seemed initially a big challenge, I think is now not, it doesn't seem that big a challenge, because I think slowly you start learning that, if your passion is there, if you're able to put up a great project, there are organizations which will come forward. I think keeping people interested as a community to watch something which is not entertainment, because Melodies of Our Mind is pure entertainment. But when you are putting up stuff, which is not only having entertainment value, but an education value, and also combining this entertainment with education, which I think Rekha's role, and the artists, who come forward to achieve that. People like Dr. Sangha, Harpal, Harris, they have actually made the film, so beautifully made that, we didn't know that it's something like that will come out. So I think all those are were, I would say, Mehar's challenges. And now to move forward to build and to achieve the strategic plan which Priya has built. And as Nalini was saying, to reach out to various, people like youth and universities and community members, and, people like Harpal rightly said that, what is mental health, is there something like that also? So, that is what is what Mehar's challenge is, and opportunities also.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And next, I would like to invite somebody who I knew a lot lesser before we began this, and I know a lot more now, so that we're in the middle of it. And I feel that there's a lot of effort that goes into putting together and bringing so many key components and key players together under one roof, or under one digital screen, to give in their 100% on a project. It requires a lot of passion from that one person who stands right on the top to be a umbrella above everybody. So next, I would like to invite Rekha Vaishnav, founder of MEHAR, currently president of MEHAR. Now, Rekha ji, my question to you is, what were the learning that you took since MEHAR came into existence?
Oh my God. I don't know. My list will go like maybe pages and pages, because I think it just like from day one, like apart from the professional, incredible professional learning, I would say that Mehar has opened a door to a whole new world of opportunities, possibilities, hope, constant learning, and growth, personal growth for myself. And but I think the most important learning was holding on to inner strength and resilience. Because yeah, there were moments that you definitely feel weak, you definitely feel discouraged, and you definitely feel like giving up. But if you hold on to your inner strength, and everybody has that, you can definitely bounce back, and you can start your journey back again to move forward. That was the biggest learning, that don't give up. And I learned that learning is a lifelong process, and it can be enjoyable, in fact. No matter how old you are or how young you are, I think learning can be enjoyable, and it must continue as long as we continue to live. And also, I learned to be patient and hopeful, that more and more people who have the same passion will join me in this initiative. Because people may have different passion, people may have different priorities, and definitely it's very natural feeling that you get discouraged, you get disappointed if you don't get the response that you anticipate from someone. But I really learned to be patient, that if not one person, I think there will be four other people they might come forward and they will have the same passion, and they will join me in this initiative. So yeah, it has been like incredible experience for me for last 3 years. And yeah, I'm glad that like I see so much of positive energy around me now. And that's the only reason that like I have been able to accomplish what we have Mehar has so far in only 3 years of period. That's it. So thank you so much for everyone who is there on the screen, who is not there on the screen, but who is always with me. So thanks a lot.
Thank
We
you.
are with you, Rekha.
Thank you so much, Rekha ji, for those kind words. Next, now let's move on to the people who've performed, who've got the spotlight, who've gotten the opportunity to be artists and give their 100% to making these things happen on screen. So I would like to first invite Mitali Guruji, artist and a writer of her own monologue. That's amazing. You would see her talent in this documentary. So welcome, Mitali.
Hi.
Hi. I love that lovely smile. My question, obviously I have questions for everybody, so I have questions for you too. My question is, what other topics should MEHAR include to make it more relevant for young population? This question is made specifically for you. So go on. The mic is over to you.
Thank you. Well, I'm in high school. I'm in grade 11, and I notice a lot of kids at school just have that anxiety during, okay, for sure for education, but also for having a conversation with adults. A lot of kids my age or younger than me, I've realized, don't know what to say to parents. They don't know what to say to their teachers. There's a lot of scenarios where kids are too scared to hand in tests because they're so anxious about them. And I think Mehar really gave me this opportunity to express something that teenagers feel. A lot of my friends saw my videos, a lot of my teachers saw my videos, and they all found it so interesting that some kid who just goes to high school can also have so many emotions. And I think MEHAR should focus more on having realistic conversations. Sometimes there's so many things stuck in our brain, so many thoughts that we just can't say out loud. And I think MEHAR should focus on youth and parents and siblings on how they can talk to others instead of just how one kid can feel. I think it should be more of a variety of people for sure.
Wonderful. And I love the enthusiasm, the energy, and the freshness that your comments just had. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to other artists who are on the screen, and I can see that they're really, really nicely dressed up, totally resonating the word artist. First, I would like to introduce Poonam Kansliwal. Hello, Poonam ji. Next, I would like to introduce Alka Shekhar, Namesh, and Mamta Mahimkar. I hope I said your name right. Mamta ji, I hope I pronounced it correctly. So welcome all four of you. I'm not going to introduce because artists never need any kind of introduction. So first, let me invite Poonam ji to take the conversation forward.
The journey with Mahar was fantastic. And as everybody said, like it's a social stigma, taboo to talk about mental health. We never knew that, like Harpal said, what is mental health? Like nobody know about mental health. And there was only one word which I have heard coming from the cultural background. People will say pagal. There's no other word for it to talk about it or go to a psychiatrist or go to a doctor or need any professional help. To come up with this project to spread that awareness is awesome, so that at least people will know about it, talk about it. And especially when I'm a teacher, so I teach high school students. So right now when I was listening, Mitali, like talking about youth, and I teach special need kids too, how much struggle, and coming from different cultural background, they have to struggle more, especially because what they see at home and what they see outside is totally two different things, and they go through a lot. So if parents can open up and talk about it, what they're going through, it will be wonderful. There's nothing to be ashamed about. There's nothing to hide about. If they can talk openly, which we were not allowed to, like what happens at home stays at home. It's nothing like that. So again, thank you, Mehar. Thank you, Rekha. Thank you, everyone, to include me in that project. And we will have many more. Thank you.
Next, let's invite Mamta ji.
Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be a part of this group, MEHAR, and I've been working with Rekha for, I think, 3 years now on different projects, and it's been such a good learning experience, and creating awareness of mental health issues, I feel is really, really important, because that really takes a backseat compared to any other illness you see. If you have a cold or a cough, it's okay to go to the doctor. But if you're not feeling mentally well, if you're feeling depressed, it's not okay to go, or it's not acceptable. And sometimes people say, just suck it up, or, see how blessed you are to have things which you have, and look at what is happening around. And sometimes I feel that people are just shut up and not able to express themselves. And this platform is creating such a big awareness in society. And I'm really thankful to Rekha for doing this, and happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I just want to quickly give a shout out to Alka and Nemesh ji. Are you there?
Yes.
Hi, yes.
Hi.
Hi. Everybody's saying about mental health, and thanks everybody, and thanks for including me in this. I would strictly speak from the point of view of as a performing artist and been with MEHAR since the day of inception. And what really, the passion is there. All artists are doing great job. But what I love is Rekha's passion about it, because here we are, you're performing, but we are never, she makes us sure, or she makes us believe that, what, you cannot take this subject lightly. You're dealing with a very, very sensitive subject. You have to leave that respect for that particular topic that you're handling. So which words you can use, how you can use your body language, everything should be a representation of the whatever disorder or mental illness issue you're handling on the stage. So you cannot take things for granted, and you cannot have total freedom as an artist.
So this is the irony of internet. Anytime when it's your turn.
Even after 10 days of practice, one day Rekha would say, you know what, that word or that action on that particular line doesn't go well, or it's not correct. So very minutely observed, and, making sure that everything is, we stick to the very, very loyal or very honest to the topic and to the subject. And our passion will stay, whether audience of 1 or audience of 200. It's a street play format, and we love to do it. That's why we wear jeans and white shirt and scarf reflecting MEHAR's colors. So there is nothing about us there. It's all about the topic, subject, and getting the message across and bringing that awareness to mental health awareness. And we learned a lot. And that was able to communicate or pass it on to the audiences. So thanks, Rekha, and thanks, MEHAR, for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you reiterated what you spoke, because those words were very, very crucial and important. So glad we could hear that. Next, let's move on to Nemesh ji.
Hi, everybody. It was an eye-opening experience for me, because we are very close with Rekha Ben and Darshak Bhai. So we heard a lot about mental health. My wife is also in a medical field, so she also talks about it because she was working in a mental health with mental health patients. But I had no idea, because when I was performing that schizophrenic person's character, I before that I had watched The Beautiful Mind, and I was just an outsider while I was watching that movie. And when I was performing this, I revisited that movie, and I realized that this is really a very deep subject which we are not at all aware of. So thank you very much, Mehar, um, for giving us this opportunity of self-realization. As an artist, it was a great learning experience, because that will translate in our day-to-day life also, what word we should use for uh, people having mental health condition, and what kind of reaction we should have with them. Those things we just learned because we were just working with Mehar on those projects. So thank you very much, Rekha Ben and Mehar, and all other actors, the panelists, and everybody for enriching my life. Thanks.
So much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Now, Rekha ji, is it over to you?
Yeah, I'll just jump in, Soumya, for a minute. That MEHAR is governed by the wonderful board of directors. We have Ajay ji, Jatin bhai, and Leena here, and I would like to ask them if they want to, share a couple of sentences about their experience, being on the board of MEHAR. I'll start with Ajay ji.
Thank you so much, Darshak, for letting me speak. Actually, I joined MEHAR about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And when I joined, I did not join on the basis what MEHAR was doing. I just joined with the name by itself, because that name really intrigued me as to the mental health awareness. So it was the awareness part that really got me going, because I do know there are a lot of people at all ages who have this kind of issue, but there's a stigma behind it who really don't talk about it. And I thought that was a very good platform where we can really do something about it. And after meeting Rekha, the whole thing really changed my perspective about what it can be done. And I'm really glad to be part of the board at this point, and helping out Rekha and Darshak to bring her vision into more as a practical platform where everybody else can join in and help out. So on behalf of the board, I would like to really, first of all, thank all the artists who have really done a great job in putting the face to what MEHAR is, and then all the rest of the board members who are behind it, who are really putting all their efforts to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay ji.
Thank you so much.
Jatin bhai.
Hi.
Jatin bhai, are you there?
Probably not. Leena, are you there?
Sure, yeah. Yeah. I would like to say something. The uniqueness of this organization is that there are so many organizations who are dealing with mental health and making awareness and this, but the difference between all those organizations and MEHAR is that they deal this issue by a different source. I mean, we approach the stigma through performing arts. So if you have lectures, if you have speeches, it's very difficult to connect with somebody. And but if you see somebody performing, then you relate that in a different manner, and you recognize the exact issue, and then you have sources. I mean, recognition of the
a scenario is very important. And this is what I liked about MEHAR when we developed the basic idea of this organization. That's what appealed me, and that's why I joined hands with Rekha. And that's we've been pursuing that we are approaching this mental health awareness through performing arts. So if anybody would like to say about that, because acting, music, painting, poetry, literature has a different path towards handling the issue, and that is what is different. And I think that is appealing everybody from here, whoever is talking about it. So that's what I liked about Rekha and Darshak, because they are artists basically. And it approached me also because I'm also an artist, dancer. Acting is my main interest. So that's what it's keeping me binded with this organization also.
Thank you, Lina.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And that reminds me, Mehar has not done anything in the form of art, which is a very, very um, uh, very difficult, but also a very high quality art, which is a dance. And definitely, we would love to produce something which involves the dance as performing art.
So now would you want to invite Dr. Sangha? Rekha ji, do you want to invite him?
Yeah, I don't see Archana ji, Dr. Archana here. So I think, yeah, we can move to the next. Jatin bhai, are you there? Actually, Jatin bhai wanted to share that Jatin Gujarati is also our board member, and he is a very senior organizer, event organizer. He has been doing that work for many, many years. And his expertise in event organizing and promoting our events is of a great value for MEHAR. He wanted to share that actually he also has said that in our documentary that taking these kind of events to the audience and selling this, we don't normally sell it because our events are mostly free. But when we do the fundraising event, it becomes really, really challenging because the competition is with the entertainment industry. So and what we offer to people is not purely entertainment. It is very challenging, and it is very hard to build the audience. But I'm glad that, like, we are, with the help of all these board members and these supporters, we are able to now build at least some kind of audience who are regularly attending and supporting our events. So yeah, so future is definitely bright. So Soumya, you can, yeah, over to Soumya.
I think she's mute.
I'm on mute, sorry. Just kept on speaking, but I was on mute. So next I would like to invite Dr. Sangha to come forward and make the big announcement that everybody's been waiting for.
All right. Before we do that, I must put on record my sincere thanks to Rekha, Darshak, and the entire team of MEHAR. I think the board members, the artists, and all the supporters and the people who are here today, I see each one of them is very passionate about what they do. It's not just the formality. And that is a biggest strength of any organization. And it was a pleasure being associated with all of you, and Rekha and Darshak in particular, because it needs a lot of patience to do such kind of projects. And patience is the key word in filmmaking, because the end product looks very glamorous or very well done, but then a lot goes into it, and which is not a glamorous thing really. It can be very boring if you are not passionate about it. The filmmaking can be extremely boring when you're shooting the same sequence or scene again and again for minutes or hours together, and you are putting down a month or two for a 15 minutes work. So thank you for all the patience that my team had, uh, Rekha had, and it was great to work with them. And because I like to do it in a very patient manner and in a very um, uh, congenial atmosphere. And this was extremely congenial. And all the artists of Mehar who performed when we recorded these skits, they did wonderful job. Each one of them had come so well prepared, and it was amazing how well they knew their lines, how well they knew what they were doing. So that shows the strength of any organization. So having said that, I think I firmly take this opportunity. Rekha has, I believe, posted the film on YouTube, or she's going to do that tonight by 8 o'clock. It would be well and running live. So I would request all of you to watch the film, give your feedback to Rekha, to me, to all of us, and see the work which has gone into it. And I'm sure even youngsters like Mitali and Karthik, uh, these people, it's a strength for us that these people are there and they have done such wonderful job. And that shows that this project perhaps is worth doing what we did. And thanks to Rekha, thanks to each one of you. Look forward to your feedback. I thank you again and have a good evening. To you, Rekha.
So much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just actually posted it on Mehar Facebook page. I already posted on the YouTube, our Mehar's channel, which actually we have started. We don't have any followers much, like maybe 12, 15 people. But do watch it. Everybody, you all know what exactly Mehar does, and we really expect that everyone will support us in promoting this film, because this film is actually a tool to convey one strong message that we can use art as a very, very powerful medium to talk about the things which are really influencing our lives, but people are not comfortable talking about those things. So mental health is definitely one of those things. There is a huge stigma, and stigma can be reduced only when people feel comfortable talking about it, and if people are more aware of what it means to have the mental health condition or mental health challenge. And it's not someone's fault that if someone is behaving in a particular way or reacting in particular way. There is a brain chemistry, and brain is also about part of our body, and just as our heart can have condition, brain can also have the condition. And we have to treat it similar way, and we have to be really accepting and very inclusive to person who is actually challenged because of the brain conditions. So no, I'm sure that this is just the beginning, and there's a lot to do. And after this film, I'm very hopeful that like a lot of volunteers and a lot of supporters from younger population will join us, and we will be able to make a really significant contribution in terms of the mental and emotional well-being of our young generation and young population. I'm sure it will be available on Facebook in few minutes. With this, I think we also want to invite, if anybody has any question or comment, we may have, Soumya, we may have 4 or 5 minutes. I think, yeah, 7:30 was the time. So maybe, yeah, if you, do you want to invite other people if they have want to say anything before we do?
Yeah, why not? If anybody would want to share something, any thoughts, please feel free. This is an open platform. You have the mic is open for you. Please come and speak your mind. Even if it's just 2 words, great job. That's also good to hear. Anybody? I think nobody is
Yeah, you
comfortable enough. Let's start. Let me just randomly ask Nalini ji at the end of this whole thing. I'm just going to randomly, because we still have 3 minutes. Nalini ji, after the ending of the whole thing, what do you feel? Like, how has this whole 1.5 hour journey plus whatever's happened way before that? What do you feel after watching this whole thing?
Yeah, I think I've always been inspired by Mehar, and today is no exception, really, And the one thing that I always wonder at is Rekha's stamina and persistence. It's just amazing how many things she can do at the same time and be so committed to it. And I think it takes leadership of that kind to make change like this happen. And also the artists, I just felt everybody was awesome and so committed in terms of the work that they were doing. Didn't matter whether they knew what mental health or mental health issues were all about. They came willing to be inspired, willing to learn, and willing to make a commitment, right? I think that was amazing. So in all, I'm just so happy that MEHAR is what it is and is doing the work that it is doing.
Thank you so much. That means a lot, Nalini.
I would just say one thing, to everyone, that sometimes, the marriages are made in heaven. And when it comes to this film, I think that was a match made in heaven between Rekha, Dr. Sangha, and Harpal, who three of them, were suddenly like, they met each other without any, very recently. But when they started working, it felt like they've been working together for years and years. And of course, the artists we knew, and we knew their passion, their interest. But these three people, without any issue around time, weather, everything else, with just one bagel and coffee, they'll work for entire day. So it was wonderful for me to watch that film coming out. And when I watched that last night, I was like, literally, I had goosebumps. I'm not one of those people, as an artist, I'm like, my standards are pretty high. But I was telling Rekha again and again that, oh my God. So all of you, you watch it and you see how wonderfully made film it has become. And I'm so proud of three of you, particularly, who were like, for me, it was a new experience, let me tell you.
One point, I'll say challenge or what you see on the screen, we never met. The whole thing was done on like practice. Three of us we were doing it on Zoom. So we personally never met because of this COVID. And like keeping the paper in front and taking out time, making 5:30. Oh, it's 5:30. Come on, let's go for Zoom. Like it was fun. It was fun. We were feeling like young again. Yeah, but not meeting, and suddenly at the theater, and now like where am I supposed to sit? Oh, I'm looking this way or that way. Like it was totally different experience. So kudos. And when I saw the documentary, and I'm like, oh my God, is this me? Like amazing. It was really wonderfully done. Awesome. Thank you so much.
I would just like to add one comment, and I think salute to all the artists, because honestly, when I do this work in real world, I meet all the people who really deal with these issues, right? And unfortunately, obviously, because of confidentiality, all these things are never discussed or talked in person with others. But this is the way people can actually see how difficult and hard these issues are. And you really have to think about it and bring them forward to talk and discuss about that. So I really want to salute all that artists, because you guys are doing such an amazing, incredible job. And that is going to have a huge impact on people. So please continue doing this artwork. And I think that's the best way to support this cause also, and bring the awareness that we are talking about. When everyone were talking, like when the board members were talking, I was like, oh my God, I want to be a board member. And then when the artists were talking, I wanted to be the artist. Like it's kind of like each and everyone plays such an important part in this process. So I think that commitment shows at every level. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love your energy, by the way. Just love it. So thank you so much, Sonali ji. Now, before we close the ceremony,
Good evening. May I say something?
sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
my name is Kuldeep, and Dr. Sangha invited me to watch your program today. And I'm not on video because I wasn't prepared for that. But I just want to say congratulations to Rekha ji, Dr. Sangha, and Harpal and the whole team. I worked with Dr. Sangha in the movie Never Again, the short film. So I know his work very well, though. So I worked with in so many of other of his programs, and yeah, I'm sure and moreover, like I work with the mental health issues in immigrants and refugees. So that relates to me a lot. The topic you guys have chosen. So I'm looking forward to watch this documentary today, hopefully. And once again, congrats and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Kuldeep. We really appreciate you speaking up. And never mind the video, the voice was fantastic. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
We love listening to your
congrats. At least, sorry, thank you to Dr. Sangha for inviting me. So
thank you so much for joining us, Kuldeep.
Yeah, I watched the whole program, Dr. Sangha, since you said. So I was there for the whole time sitting and watching. So
thank you so much. And Kuldeep is, she was my co-host in the television quiz program that we used to do. And also she was in my film Never Again. She's a great artist and she worked for Indian movies as well.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So now, since we are so good with our time, it's 7:28. We are almost to the finish line and we've been so good. So I don't want to delay it any further. I want to finally invite the one, and I'm going to use a Hindi line here because that's the way the introduction is going to happen. I'm going to invite that one person who's going to be the lifelong darshak of Meher and Rekha's fine work. So let's invite Darshak ji to give the vote of thanks.
You know what? First of all, thank you all for who's right now, part of this screen presence. Soumya, your emceeing was just dishum. We loved it, and it was so refreshing to have you as a host tonight. And yeah, I think the entire, movie making team, Dr. Sangha, Harpal, Harris, who made this vision possible, which Mehar had. Rekha, I'm not formally, if I don't formally thank her, then I'm doing a crime, because the entire dream came true because she dreamt about it. I would thank MEHAR Board, who has been supporting everything what MEHAR is doing with so much commitment and passion. And all the artists, I'm not going to name each one of them, but when I see them, as Sonali said, I want to become an artist. I think I tried one time and I was so miserable, in acting, that I said, when I see faces like which are coming up in the documentary, I'm like, oh my God, how do they do that? So that's something which I am very thankful for, all the passion which they brought on the camera. Thank Priya for being a consultant and showing a really vision in a more structured way, which was really essential for Mehar to come forward. All the people who are mentoring Mehar through their expertise, all the young folks who have, shared their life experiences, their life with us. And yeah, all the audiences who are right now there, watching this. Rekha, am I missing anyone?
Yes, he is missing the most important people who have made donations, because Mehar actually runs on the community donations, because we have not been in the system for formal grants with any of the government grants or any provincial grants, because it's a long process and we have to really spend a lot of time. We don't have paid staff who can do that. So all six of us, we really have to stretch very thin to meet the requirements, and we cannot run without the donations from the community members. And there are some people who just kind of, with the closed eyes, they just sign the check and they give it to us, and with that money. So I mean, it's really like I see it as a big responsibility to make the best use of that funds, and MEHAR cannot run without that. So that's one thing. Yeah. So I'm still trying on Facebook, Soumya. After the event, I'm going to hire you for the personal consultation, because the Facebook MEHAR page is taking long. 7 o'clock release is delayed by 7:30. Which is Indian Standard Time. It's okay, but yeah, no, that's not okay, because I think we need to commit to what we have posted.
That's the beauty of social media. It can be delayed, but nobody minds it as long as the information is there.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Here we conclude today's session, and this was extremely helpful in shaping the 2021 activities and plans for MEHAR. And please spread a word about MEHAR. Please like and share MEHAR's documentary. And do mention about our work, and do encourage people to come forward and volunteer, or even just attend and get in touch with us. So thanks a lot. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank
Thank you, and wish you a very, very happy new year, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to
नया साल
everybody.
मुबारक सभी को. नमस्कार.